You could toss me a water, bro.
Water.
All right. Okay. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. This is going to be Houston's Brotherhood. So without further, when you're not here in the I.S.U.P.K, you know what I'm saying, we all came out the world. And, you know, when you grow up in Christianity, you get taught you could do whatever you want to. You know what I'm saying? You raised in a kind of way where you think you get taught lies, and then you get told not to be a liar. You get taught, you know what I'm saying, not to talk to strangers, and then yet you make strangers your best friend on any given day when it comes to how the water. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go ahead and jump this off, man. We're gonna start it off with the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 6. It says, "Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the other nation." So the Most High, He gave us laws, you know what I'm saying, to keep and to hold on to, because this was what was gonna set us apart from the other nations. The other nations, they got their holidays, they got the things that they celebrate. You know, the Chinaman got his own New Year that they celebrate. You know what I mean? You know, the Arabs, they got their own, you know what I'm saying, holidays that they celebrate. They do, you know, whatever's accustomed to their religion and to whatever land that they come from.
Right.
But the Most High, He gave us holy days, you know what I'm saying, for us to celebrate, to keep us separate from them. He told us He gave us food that we could eat. You know what I mean? So when it comes to the other nations, you know, they was gonna look at our laws and say, you know, damn, you know, what nation is so nigh, you know what I'm saying, so close to God, they got God so close to them, you know what I'm saying, because of our laws, that our laws made us a step above the crust, you know what I mean? And so further in the scripture, it say, "We shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people." What do we understand? We understand how to live when you come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. You know what I mean? You know, out here in the world, you know, in Christianity, you know, that allows you to live any old kind of way. You could be whatever kind of wicked bastard you feel like being on any given day, and you could just go to the Most High. You know what I mean? You can go to Caesar Borgia and tell him that you're sorry, because he accepted. Because our oppressor, that not only do they allow you to live any old kind of way, there's rarely a recompense for your actions, except for the nation of Israel, except for the children of the Most High. That's what sets you apart from them. That the Lord, He's going to punish you for everything you do. Now, you might see our oppressor eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, oppressing their people, but that's not held in these scriptures, and that's not how Black people are supposed to treat one another. You know what I'm saying? Our laws, our statutes, and our commandments, it encompasses brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? If you was to teach your kids these laws, statutes, and commandments, think about the state in which the Black, Hispanic, and Native American communities would rise to. That would be the kingdom of heaven. According to these scriptures, that's what we building right here in the I.S.U.P.K. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to go on to verse 7. But what nation is there so great? At one time, we was great. When we follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, these other nations would look at us like, man, they so great. They already look at us like we great. But then they look at the plight of us and see that, man, they sinning. And they understand that when we sin, we're not great. We at the bottom. The scriptures say He was going to make us the tail and not the head whenever we chose not to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. So we trapped in curses. You know what I mean? Say we was going to have God so close to us as the Lord our God is in all things. And what nation is there so great that have statutes and judgments so righteous? At this point, we had statutes, we had laws and judgments that were so righteous. Not sleeping with another brother's girl is a righteous thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Not cheating your brother on a deal that you made with him, that's righteous. Or paying a man every day he worked for you, that's righteous. You know what I mean? Not like how it is living under the oppressor, where you go to work for 2 weeks straight, don't know how you gonna make it to work. But to get a check 2 weeks later, that's gone before you get it because you got bills that's already stacked up. How wicked is the oppressor, man? But with these laws, statutes, and commandments, and when you teach them to your children, man, that's how we gonna build the nation, man. That's how we gonna build the kingdom of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna read on. So as righteous as this law, which I set before you this day. So nobody had seen a law like this that Moses had set up. The other nations, there was nations that was before us. But when they saw our laws and the way that we would live according to these scriptures, they said, God damn, these people are great. These people must have the Lord with them, because we sitting around here laying around sticking our heads up cow behind, said Hamites. We around here honoring the blood on our forehead, say the East Indians. We ain't gonna do that. That's not according to our customs. That's against our laws. You know what I mean? So we got verse 9. Only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently. Worry about yourself. Worry about your own nation of people, because that's brotherhood. When you giving all your love to all these other nations, that's why we lack the brotherhood in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American communities. Right. That's why we lack it, because we don't take heed to ourselves. We don't only give a damn about us. We got to give a damn about the oppressor. We got to give a damn about Habib. We got to give a damn about Main Ling. And they don't give a damn about us. We die in front of their stores, and they don't go out there and rally for us. They don't say, hey, look, these is customers of mine. These JoJo and them come in here and spend money with me all the time. No, you're not going to shoot them out in front of my store. You're not going to come out here and harass these young Black brothers. No, they called the police on us. You want to know why? Because they're protecting their business. They're taking heed to themselves. They're only giving a damn about their people, their money, and what pertains to them. And so should you, thus saith the Bible. That's brotherhood, caring about your nation and your nation only. You know what I mean? So lest thou forget these things which thine eyes have seen. There was a point in time where we saw the Most High destroy a whole nation of people for us. And we would remember those if we were to take heed to ourselves, and then we would know to stay away from their traits or their, the things that they do, because of what we saw the Lord do to them, and follow his law, statutes, and commandments. You know what I'm saying? Lest they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life, but teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons. So the Most High was prescribing that every man of the nation of Israel, you was going to teach your sons. Then once you taught your sons, he was going to teach his sons. And for every generation thereof, we were going to teach our children how to be above the rest of the people on the face of the earth. That's what these laws, statutes, and commandments were supposed to do. That's brotherhood. Teaching these laws, statutes, and commandments to your children, like I say, that's what's going to help build this nation back up. It starts with you, Black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to take the initiative and say, to hell with the Christian church. What they teaching in there, that's a lie, and it's garbage. It's that same garbage that's got us starting to praise rappers when they die, after they lived a life so wickedly, full of lust and drugs. Now we sad for that child. Now we sad. But when somebody should have took a hold of his life when he was a child and said, hey, doing them drugs, man, that ain't gonna get you nowhere. Talking about our sisters like they whores, that's not gonna get us nowhere as a community. You know what I'm saying? But nah, see what our fathers before us did, they turned away from the Most High, and they kept turning so much that now we inside Christianity. Now from the Christian church is the seed of all these rappers and Christian pastors and singers that whore our sisters, turn our sons into homosexuals, and has our whole community in turmoil. But the scriptures say, but teach thy sons' sons. That means force the issue. Because here in the I.S.U.P.K, I can trust a brother's son. When I see one of these brothers' sons walking around the neighborhood, I know he ain't no hoodlum. I know he's a brother who's just trying to make it along. He following all the commandments. I can invite him in my house. I could sit something down around him, and he ain't gonna take nothing. Why? Because his father taught him not to be covetous. His father taught him not to treat a woman like a whore. So if I decided to give my daughter to him, I could give my daughter to him because I know the man that he came from, because he taught his sons. And then going on, so forth and so forth. He's gonna teach his son's son. You know what I mean? And that's what's important. It's important that we as men, you know what I'm saying, we start to teach our kids and teach our kids right. Teach our kids according to the scriptures. It say that, you know what I'm saying, a man, his head should be Christ. The head of Christ is the Most High. So if you're looking to be just like Christ, you're going to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. And you being such an honorable fellow, then your son is going to want to look to be just like you. Now, a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, we get money or whatever, and this is what we have our children, you know, entranced by, the getting of the money. Not so much as the knowledge that your father going to give you, it's the money. So now after you idolize the money, how do you feel about the man? He ain't taught you nothing but to worship the same money that he left the house to go get. Same reason why you ain't seen your daddy is the same reason why you gonna hate your daddy. Because you got an uninsatiable lust of whores, or you a drunkard, or you got a lust for money that you got to go out and kill somebody for it. Instead of, you know, doing some honor with yourself, go get you a job. I know it's hard out here, but you ain't got to kill somebody who look just like you. You know what I'm saying? You can come together with that brother that look just like you, because that's what's deep inside these scriptures. These laws, statutes, and commandments teach you how to be a brother to your nation. So now when you get together with your brothers, you could build something with them like what we building right here inside the I.S.U.P.K. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to go to Isaiah chapter 59, verse 20. Yeah, verse 20. And the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from their transgression in Jacob, saith the Lord. So Christ, he gonna come to them in Zion, unto them that turn from the transgression in Jacob. That's those in Israel that decided to, hey man, enough is enough. I'm turning away from being a wicked bastard. I'm coming about that Christian church. I'm not worshiping Baal with the rest of them. I'm not doing it. I'm not worshiping Christmas with them. I'm not worshiping Thanksgiving with them. Say, Christ gonna come to you. And as for me, this is my covenant with them, saith the Lord. My spirit that is upon me, these brothers right here in the I.S.U.P.K, we got the spirit of the Most High on us. He talking to us right here. My spirit that is upon thee, and my words which I have put in your mouth shall not depart from thy mouth, nor out of the mouth of thy seed. So we gonna teach our sons up in here that, hey man, you gonna, whatever girl you lay down with, that's gonna be your wife. Hey, daughter, whatever man you lay down with, that's gonna be your man. And I don't care if he get more than one wife. I hope he do. And you still gonna be with him. You gonna love him till you die. Thus saith the Most High. Because these words not gonna depart. But it comes first with teaching your sons. It's all about the content that you fill your kids with. So a lot of us grew up in the era where, you know, I grew up in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Coming from the 90s until the 2000s, I watched a lot of dope dealing as a kid. That's what somebody instilled in me. I got to see that as a child. Most of us did. Many of us got to see murders happen right before our eyes. We got to, hey, man, a nigga step on your shoes, man, you rough him up. You go ahead and you get him. That's what we got instilled with, but you got to take that crap out. And now you got to go ahead and you got to teach your sons the right way, that you got to learn to forgive your brothers. You got to learn that if you got a problem with a brother, you go to him and him alone. You don't sit there in front of the school and try to duke it out, and then y'all got a whole neighborhood versus another neighborhood fighting. That's garbage. That's Christianity. That's what that crap come from. That come from our oppressor. Our oppressors live like that. They got a whole nation of people that the north side of the nation want to fight the south side of the nation. Why you think we got north and south beefs? Why you think there's a red and blue beef? That come from our oppressor. That's garbage. And that's not brotherhood. You know what I mean? Teaching your sons, man. That's being an ultimate brother to a whole nother brother that you probably ain't even gonna ever get to meet. But that's brotherhood, man, when you teach your kids how to live, man. That's brotherhood. That's an enormous amount of brotherhood that a lot of us lack. You know what I mean? We'll raise our kids in any kind of way, unleash them to the world, and then want to get mad when somebody want to put a bullet in your son's head because he acting like he crazy. You mad because you let your son into the world just as crazy as hell and didn't teach him how to conduct himself in public. So now you mad at the person that roughed him up. Don't be mad. That's what you instilled your son with. And likewise, the person that did do harm to your son, he ain't no better, because the person that taught him didn't teach him, hey man, you should have compassion on some of them brothers, man. That, hey man, they all loose on all them drugs, they popping Molly and smoking all that weed and that cushion, that K2, they crazy as hell, man. So sometimes you got to talk to a young brother to help him, you know, wrap his mind around what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Instill him with knowledge. We do this every weekend. Every weekend. We out in every major city talking to the drunkards, talking to the high, talking to the lame, talking to the sick, trying to wake them up. So that way maybe they would come up in here, and if they got kids, they would see that, hey man, the lifestyle that I've been putting in front of my child, man, this just ain't right. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us, we grew up with a with a woman in the house that was just as evil as all get out. Called you all types of names and belittled you and all that, and taught you that this was the way to act. Or told you that you don't act like this, do as I say and not as I do. Which that comes from the Christian church. You can see your pastor do all types of wickedness and then get up every Sunday and tell you that, hey man, you know, love thy neighbor. Well, Pastor, honestly, you don't love your neighbor because you're sleeping with his wife. You're telling his wife to come get secret counsel. And you're not teaching your sons how to. How many of us know out there that the pastor's children is the worst children on the block? The pastor's daughter is the most whorish of all women you could ever be with, because she ain't learning no better from her father. He's not teaching her these laws, statutes, and commandments. He letting it depart. He teaching her that the whole Old Testament done away with, baby. You can do what you want. And telling the son to go sow his oats. You ain't got to settle down. Don't settle down now. You know what I mean? Do what you want to do. That's wicked, man. That's wicked, man. And all that's done away with, man. We got to do away with that, man. We got to start teaching our kids what's right according to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. We're going to get more into it, though. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just not it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll sit up here and we'll teach our kids, you know, hey, man, you know, don't talk to strangers. But on Thanksgiving, you know what I'm saying? You could go, I mean, on Halloween, you can go up to somebody's house and get candy from a stranger. It's all good. You know what, you teach your kids, you know what I'm saying? Well, if you don't know them, you know what I'm saying, you don't love them, you don't know them, but on Valentine's Day, love all in there, love everybody. But it's only love for your side at a particular time, man. That's garbage, man. You don't teach your kids that way, man. Man, the scriptures say in the book of Psalms, chapter 22, verse 6, it said, train up a child the way he should go. You train your child up the way you want him to go. So now if you teaching your kid that a bunny lay eggs, you teaching your kid a lie. So what you think you raising? You raising up a bold-faced liar, and will do it. He will lie to people in the expectation that the lie is what's going to make them happy, because he's been getting lied to all his damn life. And he been told to be happy because of it. You tell your kids that some red oppressor in a red jacket and a white hat come down the chimney when they live in the projects, ain't even got a chimney on the damn house. So you telling the kid that an oppressor come down the chimney, he ain't never seen a white man do nothing good for him ever in his life. But the one day out the year, some white man takes it besides himself to come into the house late at night like a crook. You teach him that the white man, he a crook, but he a backwards crook. He come to drop stuff off instead of take. Anytime he never seen somebody creep inside the house in the middle of the night, it was to rob somebody blind. And you expecting him to believe that a white man coming to bring him gifts. How devious are you to teach your child that lie and tell it to him in his face? And then you got your kids at school and they hearing it at school. So now what type of person you think you raising up? You raising up a wicked bastard. You teaching him to lie. You teaching them to deal with people only for the fact of that they're going to receive some type of gain right then. You teaching them to be lustful, man. And that goes against the scriptures, man. The scriptures say, train up a child in the way he should go. So I know how I'm raising up my kids. I know how every brother inside this I.S.U.P.K raising up their kids. I know what way they gonna do. They gonna worship the Most High. That's till death. They're gonna do it with gladness and not be ashamed. You hear me? This is what we do right here in the I.S.U.P.K. You know what I mean? So it say, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. You instill this in your kid at an early age. So now when they hit a teenager and they getting around them fast women, and he gonna tell his sister, hey, look, now I know you like me, but I'm not doing that with you. I'm not sleeping with you. Because if I sleep with you, I gotta keep you. I gotta stay with you. You know what I mean? That's how we train our kids to be. You know what I mean? When he get older and he see, you know, two brothers fighting at the school, he gonna say, hey, y'all shouldn't be warring against each other, man. Come to class and get an education, man. Matter of fact, we got a school down on the south side of Houston. We got a school in every major city, man. Look us up on the internet. I know you know how to use the computer. Learn how to treat your brothers and your sisters. We gonna teach our kids, hey, man, wearing fringes at school, man, that make you look cooler than everybody else. Ain't nobody got the swag you got. That's the spirit of the Lord you showing them. Go ahead and do that. So when he get old, he ain't gonna have no worries about putting on a headpiece, putting on a war scarf. Daughters ain't gonna have no problem wearing a dress, something that's not revealing. You know what I mean? Keeping her goods to herself until her father decides to give her away. Your daughter ain't gonna never decide to give herself away if you teach her right, if you train her up right. But a lot of us grew up without fathers. So the father wasn't around to teach us nothing. And you know your mama ain't gonna teach you right because she wasn't raised right. Because I mean, just on a personal note, my mama watch my grandmother sleep with more than one man and have more than one child. So what do you think my mama was gonna do? So don't me and none of my brothers and sisters got the same mama or daddy, but that's what she was taught. She was trained up that way. And as it go, she ain't up in here. So I don't see her changing herself, man. Talk to her every day, but hey, man, hey, the blood not on my hands no more. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna do all I can to raise mine up in that way. That they gonna see they daddy be with every woman he decided to lay with. I'm gonna be right with him. That's gonna be, hey, she gonna respect him. All my kids know, because that's how you train your children up, man. But you gotta have a foundation, man. The foundation is held inside these scriptures, man. You let your pastor take away the foundation from you and tell you that it's done away with, but walk around with the whole book. If the foundation done away with, then what good is the rest of it then? When the rest of it is based off the foundation. That's another lie that we teach that we teach our children out here. That we gotta change that, man. The scriptures say, man, train your child up, man. You know what I'm saying? And training, it come with practice, and practice make perfect. How would you think training is? Training ain't, you know, you learn it one time and then you stop doing it. Training, you practice. You know what I'm saying? And here soon, just go ahead and put a shameless plug in, man. We got a couple officers down here in Houston and a couple troopers who gonna be training up to get into the Hebrew Academy to be worthy enough to wear one of them covers. We gonna train up. You hear me? And that come with practice. You know what I'm saying? We gonna go to our next scripture though, man. So we're gonna go to 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 15. Here we go. And from a child, thou hast known the holy scriptures. That's what you should be seeking to do with your children. From a child, teach them these holy scriptures. Teach them to them. Teach them. It ain't gonna hurt them. It's only gonna save their life. So then they not one of them kids out there overdosing on Percocets, overdosing on promethazine, or goddamn, these children of the oppressed out here getting blowed up by the vape machines. Teach your kids, man, that all that's wicked, man. Teach them, man, that that's not the way you want to go. Teach your kids, man, going out, partying, having a good time is not what's best for you right now. Right now, we at war. We at war with our own nation of people, with the way that they think, and then we in a physical war with this oppressor trying to kill us every day. Because when you do that, you know what I'm saying, which are these scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation. It's gonna make your child know what's right and wrong to do up until YAHANNA come, up until salvation. It say And that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures. Teach your kid when he a baby. So from that time forth, it's going to make him wise unto salvation through faith, which is in YAHANNA. Through that faith and believing that Christ going to come here and he going to put in that work to get us up out this hell. But first you got to take yourself away from it, and you got to teach your kids to stay the hell away from it too. What good is it? What good is it to have a child die on you because you neglected to teach him what to, the do's and don'ts with his body, or the do's and don'ts what to do with his brothers and sisters? What good was that? What good was that child's life? You made that child's life worth nothing because you didn't teach them the one thing that would save them. You neglected to learn it yourself to give it to him. This is the inheritance that we trying to leave our kids, man. If I go, I know my kids gonna be right here inside this I.S.U.P.K. This is what I'm leaving. I'm leaving them a legacy with these scriptures. You know what I'm saying? Because I want them to know how you supposed to treat your brothers and sisters, how you supposed to treat yourself. Not only that, but who is your friend and who is your enemy, who you should be dealing with and who you shouldn't be dealing with, what things to celebrate and what things not to celebrate, what things to consume and what things to leave alone. See what I'm saying? Teach it from them when they're a kid, man. So we gonna go over to, you know, and along with that, when you teaching your kids, you know what I'm saying? Don't be hard on them. We didn't know these scriptures at first either. You know what I'm saying? You don't oppress the child and make him shy away from the scriptures. Nah, man, you do it in a way where it seems like this is just right. I teach my children every day, man. When you go to, I got a daughter that's in school. I tell her, hey, look, when you go to that school, man, you ask them for something that's chicken or beef. If they ain't got chicken or beef, you eat vegetables and fruit. You leave the rest of it the hell alone. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not yelling at her to do it. And sometimes I will yell at her, you know what I mean? Because I need her to get it right. Because it's not, these ain't my laws. Anything that I can have her to do is always superseded by these scriptures. That's why I want her to learn these scriptures while she got to go out in this world and be around these children or these oppressors and being around these other children that's not learning these laws, statutes, and commandments on how to deal with them because they're not understanding that, hey, man, this is my sister and I need to know how to treat her. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to bring out the book of Ephesians, chapter 6. Salaki. Chapter 6, verse 4. And ye fathers, provoke not your children unto wrath. Don't provoke your children unto wrath, man. You ain't got to beat your children. You ain't got to treat them in such a way and cuss them out every day. You ain't got to do that to them. You teach them by talking to them. A lot of people, you know, in the world, they shy away from the scriptures, you know, because they grandfather or they father or they uncle or somebody was a Bible thumper. What I mean when I say a Bible, to somebody who take the book and just bam them in the head with the book. You want to bam them in the head with the book. Spare the rod and spoil the child, I'm gonna beat you. Nah, man, you provoking that kid to wrath, man. You making him shy away from the scriptures, man. You taking them away from him. I got a sister in my slave, man. Grew up in the church. And in the church, you know, her people was so into the Bible, but they didn't have the actual understanding of the scriptures. So there was things that they was doing to this girl that she can't stand to sit up and talk about the scriptures no more. She can't stand it. Provoked her to wrath. She can't. We talk about her parents. She said, my parents had me in something like a cult, but it was a Christian church. The Christian church is a cult. That leads you unto death. That's no different than any other cult that's ever been risen up in this earth that rides you all the way to death. And here we looking for life. So goddamn it, you want to call us a cult, we'll accept that. But we ain't looking to die because we want our kingdom to be right here on the earth because that's what we teach our children. And our children are going to teach that to their children because that's what it's all about. It's about getting back what's rightfully ours. That's rulership on this earth. And you do that by teaching the same way like the oppressor got rulership on the earth. He taught it to his kids. And from there, he taught it to his kids. On up until now that they own every goddamn thing across the face of the earth because they kept that in the family. They kept it that their supremacy was what was going to get them rulership. That's what was going to ascertain them rulership. Why do you think is that the Pope's son is the picture of Caesar Borgia? You didn't think he taught that to his son and that he was going to teach that? No, man. You got to be kidding me. But they not provoking their children to wrath like that. I mean, hell, their kids already, they come out the womb estranged. So they already hell bent on killing their father and taking whatever he got. My sons don't want to look to kill me. They want to help me take this. So that way when I'm gone, they gonna have more because they help me get it. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna teach my kids everything about these scriptures as much as they can handle. And they gonna learn some more when I'm gone. And they gonna teach their kids and their kids' kids, because that's what this all about, man. You gotta teach your kids these laws, statutes, and commandments, man. Raise them up right, man. Raise them up so that way we can build our community up together. Because that's what's good for us, because we're going to take heed to our own and take heed to ourselves. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and get the rest of that scripture, man. Bring them up in the nurture and admonish of the Lord. So bring them up in the nurturing of the Lord. Teach them these scriptures so they know what to do, how to walk, how to move, what to wear, what not to wear, how to be like their own self, be their own people. Instead of trying to live the American dream, why not go ahead and live the Israelite dream? And that's taking over the goddamn earth. Right. Thus saith the goddamn scriptures, man. Under Christ. That's what these scriptures call for. If you don't teach your kids that, you're going to teach your kids to be a slave. You're going to teach your kids to live under an oppressive people and remain oppressed and suppressed. They're enough that they'll hate themselves. That's what happens when you don't teach your kids these laws, statutes, and commandments. When you don't teach them their culture according to the scriptures. They learn to hate themselves and want to be like the white man. The white man go get a Rolex and keep it plain Jane. Even though we ain't gonna go get the Rolex and keep it plain Jane, we still want after the same thing that the oppressor want. Why not, hey man, why don't you get you a fly-ass headpiece? Why not get you some pants with some fringes on it that the oppressor ain't gonna never wear unless he see you doing it first? Which that's what they done anyway. They take every goddamn thing and say that it's theirs and say that they was doing it first. When them fringes, when the oppressor came over here, he saw our brothers wearing them fringes. That's the only reason why he put them on. That's the only reason. Because other than that, they look plain as hell in anything that they do. They could never do anything like us. Never. Not even raise their children the same way. Because when it come down to following these laws, statutes, and commandments, these are for you, black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. You know what I'm saying? But it say, man, bring them up in the nurturing of the Lord, man. Admonish the Lord, man. Teach them to love the Lord. Teach them to admire all the Lord's ways, man. Because when you admire all the Lord's ways, you're going to understand that you ain't going to have no fear. Fearless. You go and you be who you are. The way that Habib and them walk around with goddamn head wraps on and don't care about nothing. They don't give a damn about what nobody say. Chinese man, he do whatever he want to do. And everybody else get to come over here and do whatever they want to do and live how they want to live except us. Why is that, man? Because we're not taking hold of our customs. We're not taking hold of our culture. And we're not giving it to our children like we should be. We should be giving this to our kids, man. These scriptures is important, man. You know what I'm saying? It's so important. Where we at? Hey, let's go ahead to Proverbs 13 and 24. We're gonna take it back, man. We're gonna take it back to Proverbs 13 and 4, man. Because you know what I'm saying? When it comes to these, man, how you raise your child, man, it's such an important thing, man, because you raising a man. You raising a woman, man. You're not just raising a child. I don't raise children. I make that a law unto myself that I don't raise children. I'm not raising my kids. My kids ain't going to be raised to be kids. My children, I'm going to raise into strong warriors and a princess. You understand? And the only way you're going to get that is inside the I.S.U.P.K. You're only going to get that from the truth. We're the only ones trying to raise our children in the way where they're going to be respected wherever they go. My sons are going to be feared when they walk through doors because nobody's going to understand what the hell they wearing. Why do they got that on? Who taught you to wear that? Why do you have that? Why do you speak like that? Why do you say them things? But it's going to be because he's going to have the wisdom of the Lord. He's going to have these scriptures, man. That's how you do that. My daughter is going to be a sweet, wholesome. She's going to be a sweet woman. It's going to be a sweet woman. She ain't going to be talking all loud and nasty, neck popping and blah, blah, because that ain't the wife I got around her. I got me a woman that I'm raising up right with these scriptures, man. That's what it is being a man. A man going to raise his whole household. You hear me? That's what you do when you take a hold of these scriptures, man. Let's go ahead and bring it out, man. So we're going to go ahead and bring out it's the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 13. Now chapter 13, verse 24. He that spareth his rod hateth his son. You know what I'm saying? So now what is that rod? That rod not saying go ahead and beat your son up. That ain't saying that. If you don't whoop your child, what that is if you don't discipline your children, man. You gotta discipline your children. Discipline just ain't you discipline you discipline to gain discipline. You know what I'm saying? And you do it swiftly. You know what I mean? So when my son, if he's doing something that's against the scriptures, I'm gonna correct that, and I'm gonna correct that swiftly. If my daughter is going against the scriptures, I'm going to correct that. In the world, people aren't correcting their children. You around here, like I say, you raising whatever kind of monster, unleashing them on the world, and then you get mad, or the child got the nerve to walk up on the real priests and prophets of the Lord and get mad at us when we give him the correction that his daddy should have gave him from birth. We give his mama the correction that her husband should be given when she take her tail home, but then y'all get mad at us. We love you because we're not going to spare you from that rod. We're not going to spare it from you. We're going to give you exactly what you need when you walk up on us. If I see you doing wrong, I'm going to tell you, hey, that's wrong. You got to stop that. That's not what the Lord prescribed you to do. You know what I'm saying? That's not what's prescribed in them scriptures, man. Hey, sis, you got to calm that evil tongue you got down, man. You too wicked, man. What type of man going to accept that? Hey, stop. You know what I'm saying? He that loveth him, chastening him bedtimes. You know what I'm saying? That means you're going to chasten him quick. You're going to get on him quick. If you love your kids, man, you get on their ass quick, man. You see them doing, say, hey, stop that. Hey, you quit that. And you know what? He'll change it. Because what you're doing, you providing him with instruction, man. And you do this all the way from when a child is a baby. And you hone in on that discipline up until the time that he grows old. So that way he'll never depart from it. And then he'll be able to do the same thing because you stay consistent. Stay consistent with your children, man. You don't come into this truth one day and then it's goddamn Christmas and all that. And then you fall out the truth. And now you're going to go back to celebrating Christmas. You ain't consistent. What type of person you think you're going to put out into this world? You're going to put out an inconsistent person. And it'll be your fault. But he ain't going to be able to blame you. There's going to come a time for his own responsibility to take. He's going to have to take for himself. You know what I'm saying? On the internet, I'm seeing something about some cat named Juice WRLD. You know what I'm saying? Nobody chastised this boy. Nobody put something on that boy to instill the fear in him to not hurt himself. That he hurt himself all the way unto death. There's a demon that jumped on that man. And nobody sought to assist him with taking that off of him, man. Everybody around him led him into his death, man. He say that a rapper ahead of him was the soundtrack to him getting high. That show you the old heads in the rap game ain't chastising these young boys. They not telling these brothers, this ain't what you should be doing. All of us got a rapper or somebody that we know that we used to idolize that's dead due to drugs, man. But now what we heard was the voice of correction and walked right into these doors of the I.S.U.P.K. We decided to change our life, man. We decided that we needed the correction. You know what I'm saying? And then here you get corrected quick. It happens quick. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and get to Proverbs 23 and 13. Proverbs 23 and 13 is where we're going. So we got the book of Proverbs 23 and 13. Withhold not correction from that child. Don't withhold correction from a child. Don't withhold it. If you hate, that show that you really hate your kids. That when your little child is at school and he misbehaving and somebody decided to correct him, that you got on the person who corrected your child. Hell, you get down with him and correct his tail too. So that way he know you ain't gonna sit up there and tell no adult what you ain't gonna do. If he ain't telling you to break the law, statutes, and commandments, go and do what he told you to do. Get over there and sit down and take that nap if it's nap time. If he ain't taking nap time, when you get home, you gonna stand up in the corner, you gonna squat. It's all kind of ways to correct the child, man. And then we're gonna read on. It say, for if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die. So for all that, this is what these Christians try to use to give up the excuse of why, you know, they beat their child with an extension cord, or you hit them with a broom upside their head, or with a shoe. You evil as hell, and you need to get your children taken away from you. That's what you need. Because that beating him, you ain't gotta beat them. You got to beat your kids, man. You can talk to your kids. You can talk to them. Ain't nothing more scarier than a father's voice. Hey! See, mom just playing around. See, my kids, they jumping in the background, man. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing more trembling than a father's voice. All you got to do is yell at them. Say something. You got to cuss them out. You ain't got to, you be this, you no good Negro, you no good this, that. You got to do that to your kids, man. You ain't got to beat them, man. If you love your child, you wouldn't want to hurt them. You really just want them to stop whatever behavior that it is that they're doing. And there's all kind of ways for you to learn how to do it. If you don't know how, call the camp leader in your zone. You know, if it's that bad, somebody even let you get in touch with General Mahiri. He was an awesome counselor. And he'll teach you how to raise your kids if you don't know how. And one of these captains and one of these officers is a better father than anybody outside this truth. We have amazing fathers here in I.S.U.P.K. And they'll hip you to some things. You ain't got to beat your son. You make them do push-ups. You make them stronger. You got to beat your daughter. Go make her stand in the corner. Make her right. Make her do something that'll help excel her as a person. That's what you do. You don't have to beat them every time. Now, let's just say, for instance, you know what I'm saying, if your children are fighting and one of them is on the verge of detrimentally harming one or the other, that deserves a beating. And not a beating unto death, not a beating unto where you putting marks on somebody, but you go ahead and you tear them up, man. You go ahead and you get that done. So then they know to love their brother or their sister, that you shouldn't be putting your hands on, because now you see that when I put my hands on you, you don't like that. So why would you do that to your brother? You don't like me giving you no whooping. You don't like me hitting you, so why would you hit him? And even then, at that point, it have to be, somebody had to have been getting a vicious beating for me to actually want to go in the room and give my daughter or my son an all-out whooping without them, you know what I'm saying, really deserving it. You know what I mean? Let's read on. And he shall not die. Thou shalt beat him with the rod and shalt deliver his soul from hell. So give him that correction. You could beat him like we say in the UPKHOUSTON, beat you over the head with some scriptures, man. Beat him with, that's the rod of correction, man. You could beat them over the head with some scriptures and deliver their soul out of hell. Because that's why you're going to teach your children and their children's children, because it's how we going to build the kingdom of heaven. So hell yeah, I'm going to correct my kids to deliver their soul from hell, because there's hell all around us. But the only bit of salvation we get is when we get to come up in here, this I.S.U.P.K, and be here with my brothers and their children and their children's children. And that's that deliverance from hell right there. Because we got brotherhood in here. See what I'm saying? We're going to move this right along. You know what I'm saying? We're going to go to Proverbs 29 and 21. You know what I'm saying? To help them deliver their soul from hell, man. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, you know, and here, you know what I'm saying? We learn that, you know what I'm saying, it's all types of father figures in here, man. If you ever saw yourself in the world and you didn't have a father figure and you needed a father figure, man, you walked up in here and you had somebody who actually cared about you enough to say, hey, man, hey, look, that's wrong. Don't do that. Don't come up in this place unclean. Don't eat that no more, man. Don't wear that no more, man. Don't put on purple, nigga. Don't walk up in here in no goddamn purple, man. We throw you out the door for that. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Book of Proverbs 29 and 21 say, he that delicately bring up a servant from a child shall, and that delicately, let's get this correct first before we go any further. Delicately is not saying you be soft on them, because it ain't nothing soft about and nigga up in the and brother in the I.S.U.P.K. He ain't soft, and he ain't gonna be soft with you. And he damn sure ain't gonna be soft with your son if he see your son getting out of line. You know what I'm saying? The men that's above you, they bringing you up as a servant, and he's dealing with you like you a child. You know what I'm saying? And you gonna become his son at length. You gonna be just like him. Just like they say, man, you my son, I call you my son. You ain't my son, you know, but you shine like one. He want to see you shine, man. You're gonna be his son, basically, man. That's why Yahweh was called the Son of the Most High, because he followed himself under them orders that his father set, man. That's what that means, man. Not being soft with somebody for him to goddamn love you because you nice. Nah, man, you dealing with him in such a way that he's going to come up in a way that you meant for him to come up. I got brothers that deal with me in such a way, man, that I pass it off on my kids, man, because they want to see the best for me, that I can give the best to my children, man. So that way my children, when they come up, they gonna have that same outlook on another brother and his kids and his kids and going forth and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? Let's push this thing on the book of Psalms, chapter 78, verse 3 and 6, man. The book of Psalms, chapter 78, verse 3 and 6, man. You know, so it's gonna so right here, you know what I'm saying? This is David, man, in the book of Psalms, man, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. You know what I'm saying? Going forward, man, this is what our children gonna say. We have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. We will not hide them from our children, showing them from their. They will not hide them from their children, showing to the generation to come the praises of the Lord. We're gonna tell our kids, man, about the Most High. We're gonna tell them about the Most High. We ain't gonna hide it from them. My kids sitting right here in this room, because I'm not finna hide this stuff. Why would I hide it from them? I need them to know it so they can go show it to kids that's around them. So now when they go and they say something around their parents be like, damn, I.S.U.P.K, what is that? What the hell is that? What you mean? Where'd you learn that from? Who told you that? Oh, well, such and such in my school, man. She said her daddy, you know, that's why he got them fringes on, man. He a priest and prophet. Oh, where is he? Come look. You know what I'm saying? Because then she gonna teach it to her kids. And my son gonna teach it to his kids, man. The praise of the Most High and his strength and his wonderful works that he done. Teach my kids the Most High, man. The Most High helped me get off drugs, man. The Most High helped me stop being a whoremonger and whoring sisters and sleeping with sisters and not staying with them, man. That's what the Most High done for me, man. That's a miracle and a work. It's a wonder that some of these brothers got off drugs, man. It's a wonder that some of these brothers stop sleeping with sisters and not picking them up, man, and taking them on as wives, man. That's a wonder. That's a wonder, man. That's a goddamn miracle, man. If I ain't never seen that. Because the only thing I can look outside these four walls and see is every other thing going on except these laws, statutes, and commandments, man. I can see the wickedness that people have taught their children, man. You got brothers out here, man, that they get taught that selling drugs is the way. Their father professed to them that if you want to earn a living, son, you know what I'm saying, you can't show up nowhere broke, son. You want something that somebody have, son, you go ahead and you load up and throw the mask on, man. And you go get it how you live, man. I had a brother just this weekend tell me he get it how he live. Well, I say, man, if you get it how you live, why not live right so you can get it right, man? But you got to be taught that. You gotta be taught that, man. And the only where you're gonna be taught that at is inside these walls of the I.S.U.P.K. If you hear this, if you're watching this now, if you're gonna watch it later, man, get with the camp leader that's in your zone, man. If you see your officer out there in your zone wearing fringe, looking like a strong brother, man, not one of them brothers in purple, man, not one of them homosexuals in purple, not one of them homosexuals in red and white, man, not none of them, man. He better be saying, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shabbarakatah, Shalom. Any Shalom woman, that is not the cat you want to learn from. You get the hell far away from him, man. Because he ain't going to teach you right. And when he ain't going to teach you right, you for damn sure not going to teach your kids right. Because he left. He's a wicked son. He left. He a wicked son. So what in the hell do he got to teach you? Not a goddamn thing, man. Let's go on. Let's get it, man. You know, and his works and his wonderful works that he have done, man. These wonderful things that the Lord done, man. I'm gonna teach my kids the Passover, man. They're gonna learn to hold the Passover every year. Wherever the priest or prophet that the Lord said his name on, and he say this where it's gonna be at, they gonna be there. Because they gonna learn that the Most High went on a killing spree. The angel of the Lord went and killed the firstborn of everything moving in Egypt for them. That's one of the wonderful works that we gonna teach our children about, man. That's what we teaching our children, man. We gonna move on, man. We gonna go to Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 7, man. You know what I'm saying? Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 7. You know, because this a heavy thing, man, raising your kids, man. But it's all about, you know, raising them up to be honorable men and women, man. Raising them up to be something that you could be proud of, that the Lord is going to be proud of, man. Trying to bring this nation back, man. And we can only bring this, the nation don't stop with me. Once I die, if I ain't teach my kids right, then what the hell does this mean for the nation, man? What does this mean for Black people, Hispanic people, Native American people if I didn't teach my children right, man? What does this mean for them? What does this mean for us, man? If it's just gonna stop. If you learn and don't teach it to your kids, man, that mean the same destruction that we've been suffering time and time again. That we have a generation of people that choose to follow the Lord, and then as soon as they gone, the children after them get more wickeder and more wickeder and more wickeder because nobody's trying to teach the children, man. That everybody's out for self-gain, man. God damn that, man. Damn that. Because in the years to come, I want my children's children to be raised in the kingdom, man. You know what I'm saying? And so now we're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 7. And thou shalt teach them diligently. That means you're going to teach them diligently. I mean, you're going to teach them to no end. That means it's going to be that one thing that you wake up to do. To teach them to your kids, man. Teach your kids these laws, statutes, and commandments, man. Teach them to them, man. It's good for them. The scriptures say, man, it'll save their soul from hell, man. Everybody keep talking about this hell, man. Like it's under the earth, man. Now we live in hell, man. You can teach your kids these laws, statutes, and commandments, man, to help bring them out of hell, man. All that suffering, man. We ain't saying that the suffering gonna just stop magically. Nah, you still gonna suffer. Because it say he that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved. So now we ain't finna teach our kids that, oh man, you follow the law, statutes, and commandments, you just gonna instantly go to heaven. That's heaven. Nah, man, you gonna go through some chastisement until this shit, until this wicked nation ends, until Yahweh shall return. So it don't matter if it's you, your sons, your daughters, it's got to keep going generationally. You got to instill this in them, teach it to them diligently, man. And shall talk of them when thou sittest in thy house. When you sitting in your house, man, pull out the scriptures, man. Talk to your kids about this, man, because it's not happening in the Christian church. I can guarantee you that any Christian ain't sitting at home telling their son, don't sleep with that boy's girlfriend because you know that that's his wife. No, they're not doing that. Because what they teaching is a ring marriage, man. They telling them that the oppressor get to decide when you get to marry, man. Not when you go ahead, you lay down with a sister that's your wife, man, for the rest of your life. They teaching that's just you, you know, getting to play the field, man. They're not teaching to not be covetous, man. They teaching their children that toward the end of the year now, you know, you're gonna go walk into the store and whatever your child wants, he gonna cry like a goddamn brat until he get it. Teach them to be wicked and lustful. That's not what this about, man. You sit down, you teach your kids these laws, statutes, and commandments, they're not gonna be covetous. They're not gonna be lustful bastards, man. They're not gonna be liars. They're not gonna be whores. They ain't gonna be drug dealers. They're going to be priests and princesses. That's what the Lord called them to be. So when you sit in your house, you talk to them about these scriptures, man. What we got, man? And when thou walkest by the way, and when thou lies down, that means at every point of your goddamn day, it don't matter. Every point of your day, you go ahead and you pull out these scriptures, man, or you reference something back to these scriptures for your children, man. That's what you do for your, that's how you save your children, man. That's how you save them, man. Hold on, man. I'm feeling good, man. I got a precept on that, man. Bear with me, man. You know what I'm saying? Because your children, man, your children, that's one of the most important things that you're gonna leave here on this earth, man. And it's wise of you to teach them right, man. You teach them the right way. So that way they know, you know, how to live, how to walk, how to move. You know what I'm saying? What is this? Okay, where we at? So this thing should be like a tree. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. The book of Psalms, chapter 1, verse 1. Blessed is the man. No. Verse 2. But his delight is in the law, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. Meditate in that law day and night and pass the same thing on to your children. Because this will be you right here. Yeah. And he shall be like a tree planted by the water, planted by the rivers of the water, and he shall bring forth his fruit in his season. So now when you bring forth the fruit in the season, you only know a tree by its fruit. So a good tree gonna bring forth good fruit. But now if you're a bad tree and you're not meditating in these laws, what type of fruit you think you gonna bear? What type of men and women you think you gonna raise if you're not raising them straight out these scriptures, man? You're gonna raise you a wicked bastard, man. You're gonna raise you a thief. You're gonna raise you a murderer, man. That's the difference, man. That's the difference between somebody who's being raised in the truth and somebody who's not being. And that's not, and I'm not saying all of them like that, but I'm not saying they ain't gonna be like my children as long as they decide that they want to stay right here inside this truth. That'll be up to them when they get older. But if I raise them up right, then they ain't gonna depart from it, man. You know what I'm saying? So back to the. No matter of fact, man, we gonna go over to Titus. Got a few more scriptures, man. I'm gonna go ahead and put this to rest, man. We're gonna go over to Titus, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all about, you know, how you raising your kids, man. You know, gotta raise your kids to be respectable men and women, man. Honest men and women, man. You know what I mean? Like it's high time for us to look at this thing called parenting, not just as something up until a child is 18. You got to look at this parenting as generational. Because whatever you instill in your children, you best believe that it's either one or two ways it's going to work. Either your kids are going to hate your guts and they're going to hate everything you stood on, or they're going to honor everything that you gave them. I'd rather my children honored me and say that everything that my father taught me, it wasn't something of his own. He taught it to me straight out the scripture. So whatever they got a problem with me with, they got a problem with the Most High. You got nothing to do with me. You mad at me? You mad because I wouldn't let you eat a pork sandwich? Take that up with the Most High. Don't take it up with me. I just followed his rules and I put them on you. You want to be mad at somebody? You turn to God and y'all have that conversation. You do that with him. Don't do that with me. Because I don't give a damn. I'm going to do me and my house. I'm going to serve the Lord. And when you decide to leave my house, you do what you want. Period. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't going to belong to me afterwards. But I still love you, though. You know what I'm saying? And then to you sisters that's out there, how wicked are some of y'all that teach your daughters to twerk? How wicked are some of y'all that teach your daughters to just go out there and lay with any old man that they decide to and say, oh, that ain't your man. You can have you two men, girl, boyfriend number two. and this and that, having hot girl summers. And then when it's time for the wintertime, you want to be cuffed up with somebody, with the man that got the most money, because he gonna buy you the best gift on Christmas. But now he bought you a gift, and then Ronnie down there, all he could do was just get you a little trinket. You still went and took his trinket and you slept with them both. How wicked are you, man? How wicked are you to teach your daughters this? To go out on finna be coming out on December 31st, to be out all night and to sleep around like a whore all the way through the winter. And then come Valentine's Day, you're gonna want somebody to be with you after you done committed all types of atrocities throughout the winter. Now you still want somebody to cuff you up, but you still gonna choose who got the most money, not who's the righteous brother. Which if you met you a righteous brother, he'd tell you he ain't doing none of that crap anyway. To hell with that, and to hell with you if that's what you want to do. Don't come find me later, because I don't want nothing to do with you. By that time, I'm sure you'll have 10 husbands on your belt, sis. You can keep that. You know what I mean? But the scriptures say, man, that they may teach the aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness. That means being separate. A separateness. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Being separate. How many of you women out there actually call yourself separate and stay separate until your husband? Oh, well, you don't have a husband, your boyfriend, up until he make you mad. Then you're not separate no more. Your holiness don't count for nothing because you was upset that time. You was upset that night. Be not false accusers. That's them women that sit out there and just lie so much, just lie, and gossip and do all this and just saying whatever the hell they want to say about whoever they want to, because it's just how they feel. Just a liar. Our Asian women got a problem. They got a problem, and it starts inside that wicked Christian church that allows them to be that wicked monster that they've always been. You know what I mean? Up in here, we ain't doing that, man. We're gonna tell the sister, hey, you're gonna have to chime that down. You keep that mess away from me in my house. You keep that mess over there. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no man, you can get you a man, so you can mind your own goddamn business. Stop lying on folks. You know what I'm saying? Be not given into too much wine, and teachers of good things. What's them good things, man? Teach these young girls how to get in this house, man. Teach them how to cook from scratch, man. Brothers like biscuits from scratch. Brothers like, you know what I'm saying, home cooked chicken. We don't want to go to Timmy Chan's every time. We don't want to go out to eat no chicken sandwich. Cut me up the chicken breast in the crib and bread it with Placo breadcrumbs. You hear me? That's what we want. That's what we want. You know what I'm saying? But this got to start with the generations above, man. It's got to start somewhere, man. And if you don't know how and you don't know where it's going to start from, so get up in these classes, man. Stop faking the funk on the internet talking about you're Israelite and you still acting like the same Christian you always been. The same baptized Christian you always been. But now you're Israelite with a head wrap on. And you shalaming. You ain't shalaming, you shalaming. And shalawaming. And still being a hoe in the head wrap. Come on, man. Go faking that funk, man. Get up in here. Do your 90 days. Get your Hebrew name so the Lord will know your name. Then do your full 6 months so that way you can get you a righteous husband if you already ain't got one. And then you'll be taught throughout that whole entire time. Wait till another 6 months out, then get your husband. And then you'll continue to be taught. Come on, man. That they may teach the young women to be sober and to love. I can't stand when I'm at the slave and I hear all these old women, man, telling these young girls, man, he cheated on you. You don't need him. Leave him. Oh, girl, he being mean to you. He wasn't considerate to your feelings. But the man doing what he knows to be right. Teach them girls to love their husband, man, and to love their children. How many of them women out there you see up in the store yelling at their daughter, hey, you little B. Hey, you stupid MFer. Why are you doing that? But you're doing that because you learned it from your mama who taught you to be that way when she should have taught you how to be nurturing and to love your husband, to love your children, you know what I'm saying? To be discreet and chaste and keep us at home, good and obedient. And the word of God with them may not be blasphemed. You know what I'm saying? They don't sit there and lie on God. Say, I talk to God. Girl, you ain't never talked to God. The filthiness that you do, the Lord would never talk to you. He don't even hear your prayers because of how filthy you are, how disgusting your lifestyle is, and you need to change. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go to the book of Psalms 127. You know what I'm saying? And this, I'm gonna be out, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just driving it home, man. Teach your children, man. Teach your children, man. Your children, man, they can be a good thing to you in this life, or they could be a curse to you. They can be something bad for you, man. But you got to teach them right, man. You want your children to be honorable, man. It's what you instilling in them, man. I'm gonna go to the book of Psalms, chapter 127, verse 3. Lo, children are an heritage of the Lord. Your children are a heritage of the Lord. That's something that the Lord giving you. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is giving you that, man. The Lord is giving you that, man, as a heritage, man. He giving that for you to leave something for yourself on this earth, man. And the fruit of the womb is his reward. That's your reward, man. The Lord is giving you that because you doing something right, or maybe he wants you to do something right. And then while you doing it, man, the Lord wants you to teach it to them. As arrows are in the hands of a mighty man, so are children of the youth. That means when you raise these children up right, they're going to be strong, man. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with if you're raising them right. I'm teaching my children that the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, and to seek no peace with them and to stay away from any of the ways that they do. That's an arrow, man. That is a cut to any Christian walking today, to walk up on my daughter and to ask her, who is the devil that the Bible speak of, and for her to say that the oppressor is. That is a cut. That is like an arrow in my hand that I set forth into this earth, period. You know what I'm saying? And happy is the man that have his quiver full of them. So them brothers out there that's got 4, 5 wives, 10 kids, that brother happy. That brother happy because he know what type of seed he leaving on this earth. He is happy because he's putting men and women here that are going to continue to call on the name of the Most High and to follow his laws, statutes, and commandments from this time forth. You know what I mean? And we're going to go ahead and I got one last one. We're going to go to the book of Proverbs one last time. Chapter 16 and 7. You know what I'm saying? Gonna hit Proverbs. I know I've been beating up at Proverbs all day. You know what I'm saying? This is just a good spot, man, how to get you some good scriptures on how you should deal with your kids, man. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got the wisdom to deal with your kids, man, and you don't understand these scriptures, man, get in contact with a real person prophet, man. Have these scriptures broken down to you, man, and given to you correctly for you to understand what's being said, man. Because I know some of them sound a little bit harsh, like it say beat, but it's not talking about physically hurting your kids, man. What that's talking about is just dealing with them in a way that they know that correction is imminent, that it's going to come. You know what I mean? And chastising your children, it's not beating them to the point of them being angry or upset with you or hating you. That's dealing with them in a way to make them wholesome people. You know what I mean? Not taking away from them what's due to them when they're messing up or when they're misbehaving, man. And that helps to raise righteous men and women. You know what I'm saying? So, and this right here, man, and when you raise up righteous men and women, this is what this will do for your children. Because our children, we got to worry about our children walking around here getting shot up by the police. We got to worry about the police pulling our kids over, doing something wicked to them because they deserve the punishment any goddamn way. Now, I ain't saying any brother or sister any brother outside the UPK deserves for their children to be shot or killed. But what I'm saying is that, you know, if they had been doing things with their children or teaching their children the right way to behave themselves and to carry themselves and the right things to do, nobody would have been able to say that, hey, Trayvon Martin had weed in his system, or Mike Brown had weed in his system, or one of them brothers that's recently, or Botham Jean sitting in his crib, or he got weed. And if you're teaching your kid not to smoke weed, they can't say that evil on your child. Also, if you're teaching your child these laws, statutes, and commandments, he'll be somebody that nobody wants to mess with. They'll be in fear of him, and they'll respect him because they understand that he's not a criminal. He ain't a crook. He's a good neighbor, you know, and all this other hoopla. He ain't a good slave, but he's a good neighbor. He's a goddamn wholesome citizen. You know what I'm saying? But the scriptures say, when you teach your children right, when a man's way please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. So your enemies, they enemies will be at peace with them when you teach your children how to please the Most High. We ain't got brothers up in here worried about no blood and crip. We ain't got no enemies like that. Because they know to be at peace. They see us and they say, oh shit, man, we know them Israelite brothers, man. We got to back away from them because we know what they about. And they ain't about this garbage we doing. We know them. We gonna leave them the hell alone. Because they mess around and mess us up. All them brothers in all the different colors got fringes on and jackets on. We don't know what none of it mean. We just gonna turn tuck tail and get the hell away from them. You know what I'm saying? I'm Precinct Officer Uriah, man. It's gonna be the end of my class, man. We are the I.S.U.P.K, started at 125th Street, Harlem, New York, where we are led by the amazing Commander General YAHANNA, man. The school was established in 1969, man. We'll pass the class over to Precinct Officer Ron, man, for the announcements. Shalom.
We are the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, out of the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10, means 10th in the Hebrew. Ma'asharah, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations is the Feast of Dedication, which is Hanukkah, the 25th day of the 9th month by the space of 8 days, which is Friday, December 20th, 2019, for 8 days, out of the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 52 through 61. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And these are the security announcements.
All right, with that, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Amajim, Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Barakatah, Yazmatat, Sar, turn to face the sisters. Men of Israel, Amajim Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Yazmatat, dismissed.
Daddy,